Coming to you direct from the Glass Case of Emotion Studios, located at Student of the Gun University. Stand by for education, enlightenment, and entertainment. He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He is here to say what needs to be said. Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, your host, Professor Paul Markle. Well, thank you, Johnny, for that wonderful announcement. I really appreciate you coming on today to talk me in. And welcome to the soon-to-be award-winning episode of Student of the Gun Radio. And that's right, Johnny was correct. We are in the Glass Case of Emotion Studios, located in Biloxi, Mississippi. And welcome, one and all, to yet another show. It's going to be a good one. How many of you are still here today? Are you still here? Okay. Jared, are you still here? I'm still here.
I am actually still here.
Okay.
Kind of.
All right. I didn't know how many people would still be here after yesterday, I think.
If they're not, we don't want them.
You're right, because we don't need any more summer soldiers or sunshine patriots. We don't need the weak-willed. We don't need the myopic. We don't need the one-trick ponies. And we certainly don't need the carpetbaggers and the Johnny-come-latelys here. We need winter soldiers. We need people who are down for the struggle. We need people who are here to expand their minds and their brains and pay attention to what's going on in the world other than just one little individual issue. So welcome one and all to Student of the Gun Radio, and thank you for joining me. And of course, that is Jared. He is the studio engineer. He is the producer. He is the guy fiddling with his phone on the other side of the glass.
You want to know why I'm fiddling with my phone?
Are you updating social media? Are you answering emails?
I was actually updating the Instagram, and I got called out. Remember, when we started the Instagram account, I said that when we hit 2,000 followers, we were going to do a giveaway.
Oh, you did.
Apparently
I remember that.
Yeah, apparently people remember that. And
good for them for calling you out, turd.
So I guess we have to give something away. You want to do a sweet Buddha patch?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, so if you're not a follower of our Instagram, you need to do that now, like right now. It's Student of the Gun on Instagram. And I'm going to pick a winner Wednesday morning. That's tomorrow morning. I will pick a winner, and I will tag you on Instagram, and it will be a picture of the sweet Buddha patch, obviously. I'll tag you, and then you have to confirm with a direct message or just say, hey.
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 Yep, just say hey.
All right. Well,
and then I'll get a hold of you, and you can send your shipping info and everything.
We're progressing through the new week here. We've got lots of stuff going on. We hope that you're enjoying your summer. Some of you have the summer off. Some of you crumb crunchers out there. We know you're listening.
So real quick,
like Andrew.
Yeah,
I hope you're drinking your milk and not running with scissors, wearing your seatbelt, and all that good stuff.
I heard that Kellogg's, not Cocoa Puffs, Frosted Flakes.
Flakes.
That's it. Frosted Flakes. But anyway, so how am I going to remember?
Did you just go ADD on me, or what did you do?
I don't know how I came up with that. Drink your milk. Oh, because Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, the Tiger Strong, Anyway.
They're great.
Yeah, they're great.
Oh, my God. Hello.
So, are you going to remind me tomorrow morning to pick a winner on Instagram?
Sure.
I'm going to set a calendar notification.
Idea. They have this really cool thing called show notes. You're allowed to get in there and, put a little asterisk show notes.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'll be looking at the show notes tomorrow morning.
I don't even know what to say. I don't know either.
All right. I'm going to set a notification on the calendar. Oh, also, another thing.
And another thing.
I want to make a calendar that is available to the public that has all of our schedule stuff on it.
Don't you have that already on the mobile app?
It's
called something like Events.
No, but that's not a calendar option. It's like I have to go in there and manually set the dates and everything. What I want to do is something like Google Calendar or whatever, or Calendar where you can put all your stuff on there, and then people like you guys that are listening can come and, hey, yeah, this is what Student of Gun has coming up, and this is what they're doing, this is when it's happening. But I don't know how to do that, and I would like some advice from you guys. If one of you guys, I know a lot of you listeners have businesses, and if you guys use something like that, I know it exists, I just haven't had time to research it, so help me out.
You know,
help a brother out.
Ooh, I just had an idea. You know how we were talking about twistrate.com?
Yeah.
And how we might be able to do something with them?
Yeah.
Because they're run by our good buddy Jeff Kirkham, who makes the Rats tourniquets.
Yeah.
Oh, you said the word calendar, and you know the people out there are like chomping at it. They're like, 2016 is coming up in 6 months. You remember that? You remember that promise we made 6 months ago?
Holy crap, that's a good idea.
Holy crap, that just happened. Boom, that just happened. All right, but before we get into that, I want to remind you guys, if you want to be the SWAT Fuel Warrior of the Week, and we have a nasty habit of only giving this number out once a week on Mondays, but I'm going to give it out again just so you can remember. 682-207-7684. You call that up, you leave a message, and you might be the SWAT Fuel Warrior of the Week. And if you are, you're going to get a free bottle of 9mm Plus P. And you're also going to get to hear your name or hear your own voice, well, name too, I guess, on Student of the Gun Radio. So how cool is that? Thanks to our good friends at SWATfuel.com. If you have not checked out SWAT Fuel lately, you can do that very easily by going to SWATfuel.com, check out their store, and if you decide to make a purchase, which, what the heck, get on it. Use the promo code SOTG2015, and you're going to save 10% off your total order. And, of course, if you're a grad program member, you're going to save more than that, but that's for grad program people. All right, Velocity Triggers, designed for precision. You got a black rifle? They got a trigger. You can put it in at your own workbench, at your kitchen table if your wife doesn't mind, or if your husband doesn't mind if you're a hot chick with a black rifle. Why's it got to be black? I don't know. Or Crossbreed holsters. You want to carry a gun? You should be carrying a gun. I'm carrying a gun right now in the studio, and it's in a Crossbreed Super Tuck holster, and it's the most comfortable in the waistband. And it's the... Jared, you know what the Crossbreed Super Tuck is in addition to being the most comfortable? The most comfortable,
the most well-made.
Yeah, it's the highest quality.
Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah, absolutely. Get out of my brain.
Must be true then.
It's the highest quality in the waistband holster that you're going to get. I know there's some others out there that are like, they look like crossbreeds and they taste like crossbreeds and they smell like crossbreeds, but they're not. They make them with cheap cowhide. They make them with plastic parts, plastic clips, and all this crazy jazz. Just, are you serious about carrying a gun? Yes or no? Because if you're not serious, then just spend $20 on a one-size-fits-nothing and drive on. But if you're serious about it, you might want to check out Crossbreed holsters.
One more question for our audience. We got contacted, and I personally want to know if Glenn Tate, the author of 299 Days, if you guys want to hear from him. We have an opportunity to get him on for an interview, so if you guys want to hear from him, let us know, and we will do that.
Hey, well, there you go. A lot of you probably are familiar with, if you haven't read it, you probably have seen it, you're aware of it. It's a book called 299 Days. I won't spoil it for you, but you can duck it. 299 Days by Glenn Tate.
You want to make the other announcement? The July 2nd interview?
Oh, is that actually going to be on July 2nd? Are we doing the interview on July 2nd?
We're going to do the interview.
Because we're going to pre-record it.
Yeah, we're going to pre-record it to make sure we get everything we need. So, yeah, let's announce it now, and they can ask some questions. Okay.
Colonel Dave Grossman,
yep,
the author of On Killing and On Combat, is going to be joining us here on Student of the Gun Radio. We're going to have an exclusive interview with him, and he's going to tell us what's new in the Colonel Dave Grossman world. And we're going to be recording the radio on July 2nd.
Yep, July 2nd.
Okay.
And I'm not going to tell you what. You know what I'm going to do for the grad program members is we have a group for them specifically. And what I'm going to do is...
Look at your brain just exploding. It's popping like popcorn.
They're going to know exactly what time we're recording this interview. And so they're going to I'm going to send them a webpage where they can do a live chat with us. So
no way.
Yep. Going to happen.
Wow.
It's going to be cool.
You must like the grad program people.
I do. They're actually very cool.
They are. They're dedicated.
Yep.
They're truly dedicated, highly motivated individuals. Well, we are at Student of the Gun University, and because we're at Student of the Gun University, that would make me Professor Paul Markle. But I want to tell you guys, I may be a professor, but I don't have tenure. That's right. I don't have tenure. I actually have to work every day for what I do. And you know what, folks? It's not always easy. As a matter of fact, sometimes... That's right. sometimes it's tricky to be me. All right, you children of the 80s, you're welcome.
First one to tell us who that was gets a free episode of Student of the Gun Radio tomorrow.
Oh, okay, cool. We're going to give them a free episode of the radio show?
Yep.
All right, excellent. The first story I've got here, it says, murder without a gun? That's inconceivable. According to Comrade Barry, Shannon the Sandwich Makers, and all of the other call girls, and little Nanny Bloomberg, murder did not occur on planet Earth until the invention of the firearm. And the only reason that murder continues on planet Earth is because of the existence of firearms. And if we could just do away with all these evil guns, then murder would stop. There would be no more murder. Oh, except that is a pipe dream, and that is naive, and that is actually a complete and total lie. And this story comes to us from www.independent.co.uk.
You didn't say it right. It's www. I can't say it like that.
independent.co.uk/news/world/Europe. And the story is at least 3 killed in Austria after a man drives into crowd before stabbing passersby in Graz, Graz, Austria. And you're like, what? How can this be possible? Don't they understand gun control? No, because guess what, America? Guess what, world? Guess what, Comrade Barry? Murder happens because of the existence of psychotic, evil people. And anytime you have psychotic, evil people, the good people are at risk. And how do you keep the good people safe? With happy thoughts and unicorn milk? No. You keep the good people safe by allowing them, the citizens, to actually prepare for their own defense. You're like, well, how do you defend against a maniac with a car? Well, he hits some people, then he crashes, and he jumps out with a knife, and he starts slashing people. In my world, if a maniac jumps out of a car and starts slashing people in a crowd, Jared, how do we dialogue with that person? We ask them how they're feeling. We read them.
If you sit them down in a chair and you
read them a chapter of The Purpose-Driven Life, maybe.
Yeah, maybe so.
Or you could ventilate them wholeheartedly until they cease and desist their antisocial, murderous behavior.
But see, that's not very Christian-like. Okay.
Actually, it 100% is. But we're going to get to that here in a little while. So we just wanted to give you a quick example of how, yes, murder and evil and violence. Oh, you know what they didn't title this? They should have titled this Car Violence Strikes in Austria, or 3 Dead from Car Violence.
You know what pisses me off, and I can say that, right?
Dick cancer?
Yeah, okay. So,
you know what?
What?
I got to interrupt you because I was talking to your Uncle Dave last night on the phone, and he's out there in Arizona teaching, and he said, did you know that CNN has a new anchor? I said, no, I didn't know. Who is it? And he said, it's Dick Cancer. He said, I was on the range today, and I said that was wrong, like Dick Cancer, and one of the students said, who's that? And Dave looked at him, he goes, he's a new anchor on CNN.
That's awesome.
So proceed.
I don't remember what I was going to say now.
Yes, you do.
Nope.
Ginkgo biloba.
What were we talking about?
Inconceivable car violence.
Oh, car violence. That's what it was. Got it. So what pisses me off is the fact when dudes or chicks or people will say, hey, we regulate the way cars are driven, or how, whatever. We regulate who has a license for a car. And I said, my my response to that is, do you have the right to keep and bear cars?
Well, I mean, based on the fact that we make people get driver's licenses, that has eliminated all automobile-related death, has it not? There are no more car-related injuries or deaths in the United States because people have to have licenses.
Well, but
right?
those are just accidents.
That's
not a purposeful.
There's no negligence
No,
involved?
nobody ever hits somebody on purpose.
Oh, there's no negligence involved? There's no like,
Nope.
okay. Because I thought like little plastic license cards kept everyone safe.
No. You're thinking of the
Plastic signs that keep people
nope,
safe.
not plastic signs. The
plastic condoms.
wow, that too. Plastic. Wow.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Interesting.
But here's what I want to do. You know what I want to do? I want to remind everybody that Student of the Gun...
HydroShock.
Yeah, HydroShock.
That's what it was.
Student of the Gun. You're like, what channel are you guys on? People are like, hey, we get Facebook posts, we get, messages from here and there and everywhere. And they're like, what channel are you guys on? What channel are you guys on? And the answer is, we're not on a channel. Student of the Gun's not on a channel. Student of the Gun is the channel. Student of the Gun TV is the channel. On Roku. Right now, if you have a Roku adapter or a player, you go to the sports category, which is the one that we fit in the best, and you find Student of the Gun. Or you just go to your you say, I got Roku, man. How do I find you? Well, you go to that little search bar, and you type in SOTG or STUDENT of, and it'll probably fill it in for you, the gun, and you click on it, and then you watch it. It's that easy.
I believe our channel number is 6,969.
I think it's number 1.
Oh, is it?
Should be. But anyway, if you're doing that, and yes, I know Apple TV guys, Chromecast guys, it's coming. It's coming. We got the engineers in the back. We got the Chinese slaves. No, actually, it wouldn't be Chinese slaves. Who would they be? I don't know. But they're being pushed right now to construct behind the scenes. We can only do so many thousands of things at one time. But I want to thank you out there in the Student of the Gun listening audience. Yes, you. Those of you who are watching us on Roku and that are rating the show. The show's it's like many other things, because it is an on-demand product. You can rate. It has a star rating 1 to 5. And thank you very much for everybody out there in the audience who has done that. And if you haven't, well, shame on you. I don't even know what to say to you. You should be doing it. But thank you again for everybody who's supporting Student of the Gun. And this is, you guys right now, as you're listening to me, as you're listening to Jared, I want you to realize something. You're at the very you're like, well, Student of the Gun's been around for, years now, and you've been on Pursuit and Sportsman Channel and so forth, and you've been on other people's channels. And that's right. That's what we've been doing. We've been on other people's channels. Now we are the channel, and we actually have the opportunity, because Jared is controlling all of the production of the TV channel, to help some of our friends in the industry to move forward. Now, I know you're also sitting out there and you're thinking, all right, Paul, I love you like a brother, but I don't have a Roku player and I'm not going to get one because I'm that stubborn. Okay, cool. I got you. You want to watch the shows? You have an internet connection? We partnered with a new set of friends, or a new group of friends, and they have a little thing called Full, Full 30, the number 30.com. And what Full 30 is it's essentially internet television for gun people. Larry Vickers and Vickers Tactical is the pillar. It is the cornerstone of Full30.com. And how many of you guys remember the Sportsman's Channel days? You guys remember the Sportsman's Channel when it was us and then Larry? It was Student of the Gun and TAC TV back-to-back on Monday nights on the Sportsman's Channel. Well, we followed...
Holy crap, yeah, you're right.
You remember? You just remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was us and it was Larry on Monday nights. It was the big Monday night lineup. And so we've kind of migrated over with Larry and TAC TV and Vickers Tactical to Full 30, and it's on the internet. You can watch it on your tablet or your laptop or your phone or whatever, crazy thing. So if you don't have Roku and you want to watch stuff, go over to Full30.com and you can do the same thing. You can rate the show, you can like it, you can follow it, you can whatever. And one more thing as far as social media and all that junk is concerned, GunDistrict.com. And I didn't even mean for this to be that, but what the heck, I'm talking about it. A lot of you guys have jumped over to GunDistrict.com. It is the 100% pro-gun social media. And so if you're tired of, you're like, Facebook can I say suck it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did we talk about the story? The independent Did we talk about that? Or did we just go off? You started to talk about it, the independent.co.uk.
Yeah.
Did you finish your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm done with it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Because you got off on...
We're moving on.
Okay.
We're moving on.
Sure.
We talked about it.
Okay.
I mean, the details don't matter. I mean, they do matter to them, but the fact of the matter is I just wanted to point out that people are murdered in the world without guns every day, and gun control is not the answer. It's actually, well, it's the answer if you want to create more victims, so there's that. So, yeah, gundistrict.com, you guys out there, you want to make us number one on Gun District, Student of the Gun? You should. Jump on over there and give them a look. All right, Jared, and Jared is excited. Jared got some really super positive feedback because last week he debuted the new Mom's Demand official sandwich maker theme song. We had one before, and or did we have one? We didn't actually have a Mom's Demand. We did like vagination reports, which we need to do another one, but we just don't have it. Slave state news and what have you. But Jared kind of accidentally stumbled across the new Shannon Sandwich Maker, Nanny Bloomberg Call Girls theme, and he's going to drop it for you right now like it's hot.
Yes, I do the cooking, yes, I do the cleaning. Plus, I keep the nana real sweet for your eating. Yes, yes, you be the boss, and yes, I be respecting whatever that you tell me, cause it's game you be spitting. Oh, best believe that when you need that, I'll provide that. You will always have it. I'll be on deck, keep it in check. When you need down, I'ma let you have it.
There you go. She's got it down. She knows. She knows.
Yeah.
What Shannon's supposed to be doing.
Yeah, that video, it's David Guetta. The song's called Hey Mama, and it features Nicki Minaj, BB Rexa, and Afrojack. The video actually reminds me of... Yeah, I know, right?
Anyone else?
Jared Markle?
No.
Okay. Actually, a lot of people. But the video reminds me of
Tickle Me Ammo?
Mad Max.
Mad Max
Yeah.
in the Thunderdome?
Yeah. It looks just like the Mad Max scenery.
Ah, cool. Very cool. Jared, I want you to put a pin in. I'm going to go ahead and do it right now. I'm going to put a pin in there. Mad Max Thunderdome. All right, that's in the show notes. I want to talk about that after I talk about this.
You're going to talk about the Thunderdome.
Yeah, why not?
The Thunderdome.
Okay. First of all, we went to, now that we had the heinous crime, the murders of innocent people, 9 innocent people in Charleston, South Carolina last week. And as on cue, all of the anti-liberty, anti-gun, pro-civilian disarmaments, pro-slavery people jumped out and salivated. It was sick. It was literally gut-wrenching to see the parade of sycophants jumping out in front of the cameras. The blood wasn't even dry on the pavement yet. And these, what do we say? What is the mantra? What is the little Rami Emanuel mantra? Never let a crisis go to waste. And they sure didn't. The typical leftist, statist progressives, they were knocking each other over to get to the microphones, to call for more disarmament and more gun control and more reasonable blah, 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 blah. Because we know, oh, that's right. Well, it's never worked before. Gun control schemes, we've been playing this game since 1934, folks, and there's still crime in America. What? There's still crime in America? But we've had gun control from 34 and 68 and 86 and 94 and 2000. But how many more? Oh, we just need, it's like communism. They're like, oh, it's not that communism's bad. It just needs another chance. We just need to give it just one more chance. No, it's a lie. You know it. I know it. It is a lie. But, yeah, Comrade Barry, he was knocking people over. The blood was not even dry on the ground, and he was in front of the microphone, spewing forth his filth. And of course, after he did, all the other sycophants, all the other tools got in line, and the moms and the Shannons and the illegal mayors, they all got in line to tell us how we need to be more reasonable, and this would never happen if we had more gun control and more background checks, because we know that the thousands of people murdered in Chicago during the last decade were murdered by guns that were purchased after the people went into the gun stores and filled out the paperwork and showed their IDs and all that, they weren't murdered by gang members who stole the guns or who traded them for drugs. No. And we need waiting periods, and we need to make it more difficult to get guns in America. Someone tell me the greatest mass murder in America. The greatest mass murder. The largest number of people killed in one single event. Was it Newtown? Was it Aurora? Was it... Oh, you mean that little thing that happened on September 11th, 2001? Yeah, that little thing that happened on September 11th, 2001, where 3,000 people lost their lives. Was that a spontaneous event that just happened? Or did the evil people plan it out for years? And did they not perpetrate it because they were able to possess small folding knives and box cutters? Yes, 3,000 people were killed because, 19 puke-faced goat rapists had box cutters. Well, and they also knew that everyone on the plains had been told and taught to be good little victims. Let's not forget that. You can never forget that the reason 9/11 happened, the reason that happened was because the enemy knew that every single person on that plane had been trained and conditioned to be a victim, to be a good victim. They had been taught how to be good victims. And so the answer that we're getting from Comrade Barry and Shannon the sandwich maker, Nanny Bloomberg's favorite call girl, let's not ever forget that. He gave her a call and he's like, hey, these are your marching orders. The Soros, that puke-faced scumbag from the Carolinas, Lindsey Graham, the pretend conservative, the rhino Republican, and et al., let's never forget that their answer, their solution to the travesty, to the horror committed in Charleston is to create more victims, to create more subserviency, to teach people how to be better victims. Well, that's not it at all, Paul. They don't want to teach people to be victims. They just want to disarm the good people. Oh, no, they're not. No, they want to disarm the bad people. How do you do that? Tell me exactly, again, how you disarm people that are predisposed to commit crimes. People that have already decided, someone's decided that they're willing to commit murder, but they're not willing to commit the infraction of illegally gaining or getting a gun. Well, I was going to murder a bunch of people, but I found out to do that I would have to break the law to get that gun. So I don't want to break the gun laws. Yeah, that would be bad. It's a lie, and don't buy it. Now, I was doing some research, and do you know how much I love you people? Jared, do you know how much I love the audience?
I do, actually.
Well, I'm going to give you an example of how much I care about you. I care about you so much that I subjected myself to the horrors of going to the official online sites of the Moms Demand More Bedroom Action and sandwich ingredients. I actually went there because I wanted to be able to report back to you, because I don't want you to have to do it, because it's nauseating. The level of propaganda. Joseph Goebbels is burning in hell, but he's looking up and smiling at the level, at the accomplishments in propaganda that these people are pulling off every single day. And this is what I found. I found the following video, and it was produced apparently. Remember we talked to you about organization, about how these groups that wish to enslave you and want to disarm you while not worrying so much about the state having arms or the felons having arms. It's just you, Mr. and Mrs. America, that need to be disarmed. We said that all these people are playing, they're all cashing checks from the same group of donors. The Soros, the Bloombergs, and so forth are funneling millions of dollars into these propaganda machines to try and convince your neighbors to be reasonable and to just surrender. In this video, Jared's going to play this video clip. And what I'm going to set up for you is this. is remember when I told you, I warned you that the main reason that Nanny Bloomberg is spending so much money on Shannon and her sandwich makers and how he's pumping all this cash into her group is because he knows that most of you men out there and some women won't call them on their bull crap because you're afraid to question them. You're afraid to publicly question a woman. A mom gets out and gives her opinion, and because she's a, quote, mom, you are supposed to just shut your mouth and listen to what she has to say or give it credence. Well, I don't necessarily have to agree with her, but she has to have her right to offer her opinion because she's a mom. Well, they're playing another tactic, and this is really nauseating. This upsets me, but it doesn't surprise me. And it's now Bloomberg and is paying, I don't know if these people are real or they're just actors. If I had to guess, I would say because based upon the way they're dressed and the fact that they're in a studio, that they at least some, if not all of them, because we know it's okay to lie. When you're spreading propaganda, the message is more important than the truth. So it's okay to lie. It's okay to fabricate, to make up, unfounded statistics. Jared, would you go ahead and play this clip for me? And I want you guys to listen to this.
As a priest,
as a rabbi,
as a Muslim,
as a Catholic sister,
as a representative of the Sikh community,
as a man of faith.
It's time.
It's time.
No more standing beside parents over a grave.
No more trying to find the words.
No more blood of our children on our street corners.
No more blaming God for what only we can change.
¿Cuántos más? Ya basta.
It's time.
It's time.
Blessed are the peacemakers.
لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه.
Our faith compels us to act.
Im lo achshav imatai.
It's time for our leaders to act. It's time for everyone to act.
Right now.
Enough.
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 All right, that's the new tactic here. And this has been coming, and they've been ramping it up. I've seen it coming. I knew this was coming, and it upsets me to no end. So what did they say? Did they say anything meaningful? This is all... it's all hyperbole. It's all pap. It's all... No more blood. So, what?
On our street corners.
The street corners. It's the streets again. The same street where there's guns on the street, where the gun violence happens and there's guns on the street. No more parents standing over children's graves. So this group is going to guarantee you that your children will never die now? Is that it? Is that what I'm being told, Jared? That they have the magical power to keep all of our children alive? No more. It's time. It's time. It's time for what? Ladies and gentlemen, this is sick. And first of all, the Sikh guy, Sikhs are warriors. I don't know where they got this guy to put a turban on his head and claim as a member of the Sikh community. Last time I checked, Sikhs are not Muslims. You guys know that, right? There's a difference, okay? And they got a Muslim? Are you kidding me? Jared, am I living in the Twilight Zone? Did Student of the Gun University get picked up, thrown by a twister, and dropped straight in the middle of the Twilight Zone? So a representative of the death cult is going to look at me and say, it's time to end the violence. You might want to start cleaning up your own backyard there, brother. Before you look at me as an American citizen and say, it is time for you to disarm yourself and to accept reasonable controls. Really? Brother, you get on a plane and you fly over to Syria where they're butchering Christians, where they're pulling them out and they're torturing them in the streets. And then you can come to me and talk to me about it's time for us to accept more reasonable gun control. I am not putting up with that for one moment. In the continent of Africa, when Muslim terrorists are pulling people out of their churches and butchering them in the street with machetes, Hey, Jared, have you seen any like pro-Second Amendment conservative Tea Party members dragging people out into the streets and hacking them to death with machetes? Has that happened here recently? And I just missed it?
Nope.
Organizations that call themselves the Islamic State, yeah, they put Islam in their name, are torturing people to death in Iraq and Syria. Oh, and in Iran, too. Yeah, and in Yemen, too. Yeah, oh, yeah. And in Egypt, yeah, we got that. And in Libya, oh, yeah, we got that, too. Oh, yeah, and they're well, in France, yeah, they are there, too. And in England, they are. Oh, and in Oklahoma. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, yeah. Oh, but they're not doing, well, I guess if they hack people to death with machetes, then that's better than shooting them. What do you think, Jared? That's the moral equivalent? So if a representative of the Muslim faith screams Aloha snack bar and decides, oh, in Detroit, yeah, I'm gonna stab you to death at a bus stop in Detroit because you refuse to accept Allah. Oh, I'm sorry. All these dozens upon hundreds of examples are all single isolated incidents. Okay, I got you there. Catholic priests and nuns, let me tell you what, Sparky. You need to go back and read the words of John Paul II, not this current fraud. You need to go back and read the Catholic Catechism and see what it says. Blessed are the peacemakers. Yeah, blessed are the peacemakers. Sam Colt knew that. Let me tell you what. And they put in there, they're like, and the Sixth Commandment says, the Catholic Church and the Lutheran Church, when they in their catechisms, the commandments are not numbered the exact same. So if I say fifth, you say sixth, I say sixth, you say fifth, okay, whatever. It says, thou shalt not kill. Well, if you're a rabbi, and did that chick say she was a rabbi?
I think so.
And that other chick said she was a reverend? Is that the same church that has decided to, instead of following the teachings of God, follow the whims of the state? Well, it's popular now, to do this. So then the state desires it. So we're going to change for the state. Folks, I'm not buying this for 1 second, and it is insulting. It is extremely insulting to me that the felons and the criminals and the corrupt scumbags that make up Nanny Bloomberg's illegal mayor's organization are going to put a propaganda film out like this. And why are they doing it? I'm going to tell you exactly why they're doing it. Because they think that if they get a bunch of supposed representatives of all this rainbow coalition of faiths together, and they do this civilian disarmament, creating more victims commercial, red, yellow, and black and white, and everybody in the rainbow. And we all agree that you Americans need to just accept more reasonable restrictions on your liberties, because that'll make everyone safe. Even though it's never worked for any country or any people or any society in the history of the world. Even though that's never been the case, if you'll just surrender today, everything will be wonderful. And they do that because they think that you, ladies and gentlemen, they think that you will keep your mouth shut, that you won't question it, that you'll just nod your head and say, well, okay. Or they think that, let's say you're a faithful Catholic, you're a faithful Jew, Hebrew, whatever, Lutheran, whatever you happen to be, that if you see these, you're like, well, if my church leaders tell me that I have to accept civilian disarmament to be a good Christian, to be a good Jew, to be a good whatever, then I guess I better do it. That is a lie. This propaganda has me so upset, and I've known it was coming. Ladies and gentlemen, I've known this was coming, and I share a lot with you. I share a lot with the Student of the Gun audience. I really do. I feel like you guys are my extended family. Like, you get it. Like, you're part of the group that understands. And I told you several months ago, I started working. Though the impetus was the article for The Blaze about a year plus ago, I guess it was. And that group of nuns.
Was that long ago?
Yeah, I think so. That group of nuns in Columbus, Ohio, that decided they were going to protest a pawn shop getting an FFL license.
Gemma Doll.
Yeah, Gemma Doll, who's got like a stripper name. They were going to protest. They decided it was within their purview to jump on the anti-gun bandwagon, which is bullcrap, but whatever. That started me on this path, and the basic title from the article was, "Do you have to be a coward to be a Christian?" And I started working on it, and it turned from one article into an entire book. The book is ready. Well, it's at the publisher right now as you're listening to this. We've sent out. We have a couple of. We had 5 proof copies that were sent to us by the publisher. When you guys know the proof copies are limited. They only give you so many of them and so forth. Anyway, we've talked about it. Well, now is the time. And that is this type of nonsense, this type of propaganda, these lies that you're being told. And folks, what really upsets me is that there's a 100% deliberate effort afoot in this nation to convince Christians and members of the Judeo-Christian people that in order to be faithful followers of their religion, of their beliefs, that they have to at the same time be subservient, that they have to be passive, that they're not allowed to fight, that they have to shut their mouths and be quiet, and they have to do what they're told. They're not allowed to think. They're supposed to be. That is not what it's about at all. That's not how I was raised. And that's not what we're taught. When I just said, I've done my research. Okay, Pope John Paul II specifically addressed justifiable use of force and the killing of criminals, murderers, rapists, robbers, felons. He addressed it. It's addressed in the Catholic Catechism. It's addressed in Luther's small catechism for the Lutheran Church. These things are not new. They're specifically addressed. And when someone tells you that there's never a reason, there's never justification for killing, when they tell you that, we're like, whoa. So what you're telling me is that I should disarm myself and allow my family to be victimized? That I have to do that to follow your group? That I have to put my head down and remain silent and do what the state tells me? Or I can't be in your religious group? That is a lie. There are people that will tell you that Gandhi was the great pacifist. Gandhi was not the pacifist that you were taught. They'll tell you that people like, well, this isn't so much in the book, but that Benjamin Franklin was an atheist. That's a total lie. It's a total lie. Jared wants to say something.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have a lot to say, but I can't say too much because a lot of it's in the book. I was rereading the chapter 6 last night, and it actually kept me up. I read it twice last night. It kept me up late because I was thinking. But chapter 6 of the Faith and Patriot book is called "Reinvigorating the Black Regiment." And did you talked a little bit about the Black Regiment last week, didn't you?
Well, I talked about it on Mark's show on the Armed American Radio last week. Oh,
okay. I know I heard it somewhere. But I can't find the spot in the book, but there was 2 churches that you referenced, and one church it had...
In New York?
No, it wasn't. It was the 2 different kinds of churches, that one was affiliated with the other one, and the other one was...
Oh, the Episcopal Church and the Anglican Church.
Yeah. And they were... Go into depth about that a little bit.
Well, I don't want to get too far into it.
Well, yeah, I know, but...
The Anglican Church basically, as historians know, that Henry VIII broke with the Catholic Church over his own...
Henry VIII, over
divorce and so forth, and created the Anglican Church, which was essentially the same thing as Catholic, only allowed divorce and a few other changes. Because Henry VIII didn't want the Pope telling him what he could and couldn't do, essentially. And then the Episcopal Church is tied very closely to the Anglican Church, which Anglican means, from England. And we have a reference in the book about an Anglican bishop, or is it bishop, reverend, doctor, whatever, who's jumped on the gun control bandwagon. And here's the thing. Here's what's going on right now, Jared, is the book's finished, and I'm getting even more examples of people, of these so-called religious leaders.
Mark them down.
Calling for disarmament and reasonable gun control, greater restrictions, blah, 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 in the name of a lie. And it is a 100% lie. It is a deception. And we cannot accept this. And here's how I'm going to finish this up, Jared, because I didn't want this. A lot of you out there who are listening to me and you're like, I'm agnostic, I'm atheist, I'm a this, I'm a that, and so forth. A lot of you out there are like, Paul, I don't tune into the radio to listen to religion. I'm not trying to convert you. I'm not. I am. That is not my job. My job is not to convert you. But I'm gonna leave you with this little tidbit. All of you guys out there are like, I'm a patriot, I'm pro-Second Amendment, I'm pro-gun, and so forth, but I'm agnostic. I am an atheist. Okay, great. If you, as an agnostic, atheist-type person, if you go along with the current administration, if the current plot and plan and scheme to beat down the Judeo-Christians, to beat them into submission, to basically destroy their ability to follow their own faith. And that's what's going on in America. Don't kid yourself. If you do this, you participate willingly in the beatdown of the American Christian. Who do you think steps in to fill the gap? Do you think it's just going to be a vacuum or a void? Well, we're going to beat these Christian people down because I'm not going to have them telling me how I can live my life and how I can't. Okay, great, rock on. Who do you think steps in to fill that gap? Because someone will. Don't kid yourself. Who are you going to run to when the Judeo-Christians have been beaten down, have been beaten into submission, have been marginalized? Who are you going to turn to, pro-gun, Second Amendment patriot dude? Are you going to turn to the Muslims, the death cult of Islam? Or are you going to turn to the state for your absolution? Who will you turn to? It's not going to be a vacuum. There's not just going to be an empty space. Someone is going to step in and assume that mantle. That is exactly what happened on planet Earth when the Soviet Union put up the Iron Curtain. And they crushed the church under their heels. And they took the power of the church for the state. And the state became the religion. And the state enforced the religion. So I want you to think about that. All of you self-enlightened people, you're like, I don't need your fancy, fake mumbo-jumbo religion. I have my faith in the Constitution. Brothers and sisters, you might want to read that document. You might want to read the Declaration of Independence and see what words were put into that. You might want to read and do research as to where man's natural rights come from.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you've ever read the Constitution, then there are tons of references to faith in the Constitution.
Well, but I don't believe that. Okay, you don't believe that, and rock on. That is your right as an American not to believe that. But why do you have that right? Why do you have that right? Was it just a default and it was going to happen anyway? I want you to keep that in mind. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we ran out.
You want to talk about
no, we don't have
real quick?
We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, tomorrow on Student of the Gun Radio, it's going to be Wednesday. We're going to have the SWAT Fuel Fitness Talk update. We're going to talk about shark attacks and something positive that came out of a shark attack or something that you can take with you. And we're going to talk about Thunderdome.
If you guys have any questions, specific questions about fitness, then leave them on our Facebook page so I can answer them for you.
She's just like nodding her. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say to you people. Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, remember, you're a beginner once, but you should indeed be, what? A student for life.